Following the Vietnam War, the strength of the United States military began to weaken. During a House Armed Services hearing, General Edward Myers cemented this concern by informing Congress that America's Army had become a hollow army. In an effort to correct the intelligence problems faced in Vietnam, the Army released a study to analyze the structure of military intelligence. As a result, Army Security Agency, Tactical Intelligence, and Special Security Assets were assigned to Army combat units for the first time. These units were called Combat Electronic Warfare Intelligence, or CEWI.
One of the problems, though, and this is especially felt at the division level, is how do you keep the division MI assets moving forward so that they can provide that rapid, actionable intelligence that they need to do? And the problem started well before Desert Storm. The CEWI concept was developed during a doctrinal concept called air-land battle.
Air-land battle was based on initiative, depth, agility, and synchronization. CEWI units adopted and expanded those concepts, with focus on survivability, mobility, speed, simplicity, risk assessment, and doctrine.
This was done as we were ending our involvement in the Vietnam War and seeing that the MI structure there wasn't exactly adequate to what we needed it to be. There was a need identified to provide direct MI support to the combat units.
And there were 4 companies, Alpha through Delta. Each of the companies supported a particular brigade, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Brigade. And then there was Delta Company, the 4th company, which was general support to the division. So it had additional systems that could be used by the commanding general to weight a specific brigade or an effort, or to keep it back as his assets to answer a particular PIR that he had. So that was essentially how the CEWI battalion was structured.
The 502nd MI Battalion was one of many CEWI units tested during Operation Desert Storm. The Alpha Company included 6 SIGINT collectors, 3 ELINT collectors, 5 jammers, and 3 quick-fix personnel.
All of these different assets that combine and allow you to accomplish all of those different things to help find, fix, and finish the enemy as your maneuver commanders attempt to outfox them on the battlefield.
Well, in the 1980s, we said, hey, look, we've got these great assets. They're called the M1 Abrams tank and the M2, M3 Bradley and the MRLS and the Apache helicopter. And these things can take the battle to the enemy in a deep attack kind of way.
To be able to attack deep, to set the conditions behind the enemy lines that will facilitate the oncoming forces as they move in and enable them to breach and exploit and defeat the enemy through maneuver in 3 dimensions.
To do that, that meant that you had to have MI assets that could reach out that far. And so all of a sudden now, this concept of where you're having this baseline for all your SIGINT assets isn't going to work. And the mobility that you needed to have a baseline wasn't the same as the mobility you needed to move forward. And that's all going to come to fruition during Desert Storm.
The tactics, techniques, and procedures employed by divisional MI battalions during Desert Storm demonstrated that CEWI struggled to maneuver on the battlefield. And as the U.S. Army became leaner and more agile, CEWI was eventually phased out. Today, direct support MI companies train with the brigade combat team and have advanced into a self-sustaining hub of combat power.
The CEWI probably started that process of getting guys on the ground, and then the evolution of the modular brigade took it one step further. It's no longer an asset you get, it's an asset you have.
The groundbreaking concept of CEWI helped move the readiness needle from hollow army to Army strong.